What's going on, everyone? This is Simon Mix, and today I'm going to give my review of WWE Payback. Payback happened June 16th, 2013. Now, before we begin this review, there are two announcements that I want to make. First announcement, upon recording of this video, today is June 17th, 2013. I was going to do this yesterday, but I came down with a pretty bad headache after the show, and I pretty much went to bed after the show was over. So there might be a few of the matches that I might have forgotten, like how it went. I think I pretty much remember for the most part, and I might mix the order up a little bit, so do excuse me if I do mix the order up a little bit. And two, as I mentioned in my preview, I went to the show live and in person. So there might be a few of the matches I might sound like I'm giving a lot of credit for, and I might give the rating a little bit of a high rating. But remember, I was there live, and when you're there live, the matches seem a lot better than it is on TV. And of course, with the crowd and all that, it does help the match a little bit, and so forth. So those are the two announcements that I want to mention. And without further ado, let us begin. So I'm going to mention the pre-show, actually, seeing that I actually saw the pre-show. So the pre-show is Sheamus against Sandow. I was actually impressed by this match. It was a pretty good match for what it was worth. It felt like this match was like 10 minutes around there. And Sandow actually pulled off some impressive moves from what I saw. I think there was a botch or two. There was that swinging net breaker off from the turnbuckle, and it looked like Sheamus kind of landed wrong on the head. And the crowd actually was actually behind Sandow more than Sheamus, which I guess I'm not too surprised. I guess we haven't forgotten when Sheamus beat Daniel Bryan within 18 seconds at WrestleMania last year. But no, this was a pretty impressive, good match. I found this to be very impressive. Now, like I said, I was there live, so watching it live, it looked very good. Maybe if for those that might have watched it on YouTube or on the app, maybe it was like a 2.5 type of match. I give it a 2.75. I mean, even though there was a couple botches, and yeah, there was a couple botches, but it was still impressive. If it wasn't for the two botches, I might have given it a 3, but I'm going to be very generous and give it a 2.75 out of 5. Then the opening contest kicks off with the Triple Threat Intercontinental Championship match. Curtis Axel, Wade Barrett, the champion, and The Miz. This was a fun match. There was a lot of back and forth in between. Then, like in every Triple Threat match, it's always usually one-on-one, and there's usually a little bit of all three of the guys are beating each other up here and there and left and right. This match was definitely your close quarter, oh my god, I thought he was going to win that type of match. And then it was, and they did it pretty good. There was a couple times where you thought that The Miz was going to win, but he didn't. You thought that the Wade Barrett was going to win, but he didn't. And Curtis Axel. So a lot of close call matches in this. And I actually liked the finish of this match. How The Miz had Wade Barrett in the figure 4. He had him in the middle of the ring, and then Curtis Axel comes out of nowhere, pins Wade Barrett for the 1-2-3. The Miz is too late to notice it, and Curtis Axel is the Intercontinental Champion. I actually liked that spot. It was a spot that I've never seen before, and I thought it was actually a pretty creative move. I thought they did a very good job with the execution on the very end of that match. Although I guess you could say Curtis Axel picked up the cheap win, but let's look at the bright side. He is a heel, and heels do find a way to get the cheap victory. But this occasion, I thought it was done very beautifully, and in a way, it did steal The Miz's thunder in a way. So I thought that was pretty impressive. I give it a 3 out of 5, actually. I found this to be a very enjoyable, fun match. Like I said, I was there live, so I know giving it a 3 might be too high, but you have to excuse me, I was there live. So 3 out of 5. Up next, I believe, was AJ Lee versus Caitlyn for the Divas Championship. For a women's match, it was okay. I mean, I think they did do a lot here, but kind of your typical women's match. I mean, this wasn't a 2-star match. Don't worry, I'm not going to be over the top with this match. This was probably one of your more better Diva matches. There was one spot I liked, how Caitlyn threw AJ Lee over the announcer's table. I like that spot, actually. That's definitely a spot that we don't rarely see in a women's match. So I thought that was something good to add in. And there was a nice reversal how Caitlyn was going to go for a side slam, but then twisted AJ around, and then AJ put her in that submission lock. And Caitlyn doesn't tap the first time, and then they go at it a little bit more. And then AJ puts that submission lock armbar in again, then Caitlyn taps. And, yep, myself and the Chicago crowd started chanting, "You tapped out to Caitlyn." And, you kind of have to feel bad for the girl, but oh well. But I do like the move of AJ winning, and you know, I think she's definitely an impressive heel, AJ Lee's character. And you know what? That segment that she did on Raw with the whole Caitlyn and Big E Langston thing, I thought she was impressive. And who knows? She might be good, but then again, could be your typical diva. I give it a 1.25, maybe a 1.5, just to be generous. I mean, like I said, it was a better Divas match than what we've seen on SmackDown and Raw. So that's saying a lot. Let me think. What was next? I think, if I remember right, I think it was Dean Ambrose versus Kane for the United States Championship match. I was actually very disappointed about this match. It was slow pace, pretty boring at times, and the finish was pretty stupid with the count-out victory. I did not like the count-out victory at all. Like I said, slow-paced match, wasn't really nothing interesting. I think Ambrose did try to pull off something impressive, and Kane, I don't know. But I think Ambrose did try to make it into a good match. And, you know, I think I gotta give Kane a little bit of credit as well. I think he tried to do something as well, but I guess it just shows that Kane's kind of getting up there, and his time might be coming sooner than later. I don't know. But I give it a 2 out of 5. And like I said, I was disappointed. And 2 out of 5, especially for a Shield member match, that's pretty low right there. Up next, I believe, was Alberto Del Rio versus Dolph Ziggler for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, don't get me wrong. I thought this was a solid match. I thought these guys did an impressive job in the ring and what they did. But the finish with Alberto Del Rio winning, I did not like that whatsoever. But today, actually, seeing today is June 17th, the more I thought, because I was thinking about that match today, actually, I was saying to myself, you know what? For storyline-wise, I think they did a pretty good job. And let me explain. So, you have Dolph Ziggler attacking the head of you have Alberto Del Rio attacking the head of Dolph Ziggler, and Dolph Ziggler was just like he couldn't go on. Like, he looked like he was completely out of it. He couldn't continue. And he tried to pull off an underdog-like move. And the thing with Del Rio was that he was constantly attacking the head of Ziggler, where he got the concussion. And you say to yourself, isn't he trying to cheat his way and try to get a cheap win? And the Chicago crowd was all for Ziggler. All for Ziggler. And when Del Rio won, he leaves, and then he comes back to cut a promo, and everyone just booed the living crap out of Del Rio. They booed the man pretty much out of the arena. And I think what's going to happen, I know this is a prediction, but I hope it happens. I think Del Rio is going to go back to being a heel because his face run is not working at all. And I really hope that they push Ziggler to be this mega face. And I think what they should do is they should give Ziggler time off, and then either he gets the belt back at Survivor Series, or he's the #1 entry again in the Royal Rumble, and he wins it at #1. I think that's what should happen. But I thought they played the storyline very well with the concussion, and they booed the living crap out of Del Rio. And you know what? I have to give pointers to that. I really have to give pointers to that one. I give it a solid 3 out of 5. Like I said, I was pretty pissed off about Del Rio winning. I was not impressive at all. But sitting here today thinking, you know what? We did boo the hell out of Del Rio. And you know what? I thought they, like I said, I thought they played it very well. Kind of weird that Del Rio would use a heel tactic to try to get the cheap win. But I hope he goes back to being heel because Del Rio face is not working at all. Once again, 3 out of 5. Let's see. We did that match. We did that. Actually, then next. Oh, the promo of Rob Van Dam coming back. Oh my God, the Chicago crowd, us Chicago people, just cheered the living hell. We started doing the RVD and all that. Definitely one of the best pops I've ever seen. And he's coming back Money in the Bank. And from what I understand, Money in the Bank is going to be in Philadelphia. So you know that the Philadelphia crowd is going to be behind Rob Van Dam when he comes back. And I wouldn't be surprised if Money in the Bank is going to be a sold-out arena that day. Just wanted to point that out, actually. Up next, Chris Jericho versus the return of CM Punk. Best match of the night. Excellent match. Great counters here and there. Great wrestling tactic ability. And for Punk, for having a 2-month rest, it looked like he was there all the time. He showed no ring rust, and he just pulled off the impressive performance that he always impresses. And these two guys, they work like magic. They always promise us at least a 4-star match, and this one was a 4-star match, no question about it. And I like the ending. And yes, another thing I liked about this match was it was another close call match. How you almost thought Chris Jericho was going to win, but he didn't. And I like the ending where Chris Jericho gives the GTS to Jericho. Jericho goes off hits the pad of the turnbuckle, goes back to Punk, and Punk hits the GTS again. I like that finish. I think that was an impressive finish right there by CM Punk. I think the one complaint I have with it was slow here and there, but I think the pace, for the most part, maybe about 75-80% of the match was like fast-paced to a little bit fast-paced, so it did kind of make up big time afterwards. I give it a 4 out of 5. Definitely the match of the night. Up next was The Shield, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns against Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton. Another good match here. Another impressive match. The Chicago crowd all behind Daniel Bryan. The crowd did not stop chanting for Bryan at all. Great wrestling from all 4 of the guys. Great moments. And just an impressive match. And I was expecting for the Shield to win, and they did win. And I was hoping Orton would turn heel, but all he did was walked away, which I don't know if that's a tease that he will be turning heel, but in another show or pay-per-view, or what. But nonetheless, it was a good match, very fun match to watch, and I would highly recommend it for anybody that would like to take a look at it. I give it a 3.25, 3.5, somewhere around there. And then finally, the main event, John Cena versus Ryback in the 3 stages of hell. Stage 1, lumberjack match. This was okay. The lumberjack was okay. Kind of slow here and there. The one thing I liked about the lumberjack match was when all the lumberjacks were gaining on Ryback, John Cena was on the turnbuckle and leaped off and landed in that big pile. I thought that was a good spot right there. And in the end, Ryback hits the shell shock to Cena and picks up the first win. So it's 1-0 Ryback. Stage 2, tables match. This was predictable because the ambulance was showed at the beginning of the show, and you knew they had to use it. I did kind of like some of the spots how when Ryback was using the steel steps and he wanted to like crush Cena through the table with the steps, but then like every time he threw it, he would miss Cena and it would crush the table. I did kind of like that spot, actually. I definitely did like it. But Cena winning this was no surprise. And then stage 3, of course, the ambulance match. This was actually, I was actually surprised how good this was. I liked the fact how they used some of the parts of the ambulance as a weapon. Like they took out the one door and they had the clutches in there. I liked how they used one of the siding on the ambulance as a weapon. The lights as a weapon, the door as a weapon. I like the fact that they actually used the ambulance as a weapon. I think they did a pretty good job on it, and I even like the finish of the attitude adjustment, putting Ryback through the ambulance. I think that was another good spot as well. And Cena winning, I guess you could say, was no surprise. And the phone's ringing. Hang on a second, guys. I'll answer that phone call later. But yeah. So the attitude adjustment on Ryback through the ambulance was definitely impressive. That's never happened before, so that's definitely something new we've never seen. Overall, it was a good match. It was solid, but it wasn't nothing great. I would give it a 3. Yeah, I would give it a 3 out of 5. Like I said, it was good for what it was worth. It was solid, but it was nothing great. Alright, so in the end, as I tally this up a bit, let's see here. So the way like I said, I don't have the paper in front of me, so I'm just looking back to see what I gave it and all that. So I think in the end, I give Payback a 7.75 out of 10. 7.75 out of 10. Now, like I said, I know I might give it a bit of a too high rating, but as I said this before, as I said it for the 3rd time, I was here live, so I know some of you guys might give it a 7.25, maybe a 7.5, but I give it a 7.75 out of 5. I think the show itself and being there in person, I thought was very impressive, and there was only 2 matches I would say was pretty bad that were at least below a 3-star match. But everything else was enjoyable, and I enjoyed it from start to finish. Alright, well, this was my review of WWE Payback. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please do leave your comments on the bottom of this video. Tell me how you guys enjoyed WWE Payback, whether you were there in person like I was, or if you watched it on TV, on your big screen TV. And in about 20 minutes, WWE Monday Night Raw will be popping on soon. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, this is Sonic saying you guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys later.